Hello and welcome to the first installation of 5 Minutes with DEKRA. I'm Mark Garino and I'm here with Chief Client Officer Jim Spigener. Jim, thanks for doing this.
My pleasure.
Jim, you've mentioned that organizations are not getting the most out of their initiatives. Can you talk about that? Why is that the case?
Well, I think the issue becomes one of organizations are really busy and leaders have all kinds of problems they're trying to deal with, and organizations have problems they're trying to deal with. And what happens is they look for a solution to a problem. And many times those solutions, because they're rolled out organization wide, they're processes. What they do is they see the problem, they find what they think is a good solution, and their objective is just to get it implemented. They really don't think through what objectives that they would like to gain from that besides the actual implementation of the process.
Why is that? What leads into them not getting that?
The problem that they have is they're in a hurry for the most part. And most organizations are real task oriented. They got deadlines and budgets and all these things they've got. And I understand that. That's just the real world. But the reality is in today's world, we're doing much more with much fewer people. And we're really struggling, I think, are going to struggle even more in this age of technology with creating a culture or having a culture that hangs together. And the other thing is we have less and less time to train people. We have more and more new people coming into the workforce. So if you think about it, when you implement an initiative, you're going to touch a lot of people for the most part. It might be supervisors, it might be workers, it might be mid-level managers, it could be all of the above. And what you really want to do is you want to implement in a way that causes the implementation to be a lever that will improve many facets of the organization, not just solve the problem that you're trying to solve. So, for example, if you were going to implement a behavior-based safety process, which we used to do a lot of, you would want to sit down and say, what else could we accomplish in this implementation if we were careful about it and if we thought about it and if we planned for it? Well, let me give you a couple of examples. One is we could improve trust. If we do this right, we could actually improve trust. We could improve communications up and down the line. We could improve the skill set of the workforce and the supervisors alike. We could set this up so that the senior management gets closer actually to the people who are doing the work. We could improve the culture. So there are multiple things that we could accomplish with this if we sat down and thought about it. In some ways, it presents a problem for leaders because they're in a hurry, and it seems like this would slow things down a little bit. And it will in the front end, maybe. But if what you're looking for is velocity to outcomes versus velocity to getting the implementation done, just getting done with it, then the way I'm talking about it is going to give you better velocity to outcomes. It's going to create a higher level of sustainability. It's going to create more discretionary effort in the organization. It's going to connect people to each other and to the initiatives that the organization has. And it's going to improve skill sets of whoever it touches if you do it right. And all it takes is sitting down and getting really clear on understanding what this implementation is and understanding how it can be used to touch all of the things that I listed.
So it's really about changing the safety culture. Is that right? Really from the top, letting it spread out. Is that correct?
Well, that's one objective. So you want to implement in a way that it does improve the culture, but you also want it to improve skills. You want it to improve communications. You want it to improve relationships. You want it to improve knowledge. So you can get all of those things with almost any initiative if you sit down and plan for it. If you don't plan for that, you may or may not accomplish some of that, but you clearly aren't going to get the level of benefit that you could get. And when I talk to senior execs, they really get excited when they think about it that way. I've had more than one tell me, gosh, I'm glad I talked to you because I was just thinking about turning this over to somebody and just getting it done. And now I see how this could actually be a really powerful change mechanism for the whole organization. And if we do it right, we're going to make so many improvements, it's going to strengthen us. And we will not only get the thing we were trying to fix, but we'll get all that other stuff.
Great. This has been really insightful. Thank you, Jim, for doing this. And check our social media for when we're going to have the next 5 Minutes with DEKRA with Jim Spigener. We're going to do this once a month. And thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next month. Thanks, Jim.
Thank you.